so we're going to go on the adventure of putting your instrument together today. It is quite the adventure. So the first thing we're going to do before we even put any pieces together is actually grease all of the corks. So you're going to have some cork grease in your case. It either looks like a circle or like some chapstick. Could look like a chapstick case. And you're just going to get some grease on your finger. And then you're going to find any parts of your clarinet that have this kind of wood-looking stuff. We call it cork, the brown stuff. And you're going to grease the corks. Beginning clarinets, so new clarinets, tend to be very dry. So the grease is going to help us put it together more smoothly without breaking anything. So after you've greased all the pieces, and there's quite a few of them. So there's some here, there's some here, lots of corks. After you grease all the pieces, the next step is that you're going to grab these two. These two look really similar. They're kind of the bigger pieces, and they both have keys on them. So kids confuse these often. I think the easiest way to tell which one goes on top and which one goes on the bottom is to look at the back. So on the back, one of them has a thumb hole and one of them has a thumb rest. So here's the thumb rest right here, and here's the thumb hole right here. Okay? I'm going to line up the thumb rest and the thumb hole. And if you look at the front, that's also going to put the keys in a line as well. And then I'm going to grab it in an area where there's not too many keys. I'm going to push down the silver key when I grab it. And then I'm going to push and twist together. Push and twist together. Now, the reason that I'm pushing down the silver key is because if you look closely, the silver key moves the lever at the bottom there. And this lever needs to go on top of this piece here. So, just to be careful, I leave it up. I press down the silver key here to move that key up so that when I screw it together, it goes over. Okay? Now, the other thing to watch out for when you're putting it together is that when you push and twist, and you're pressing the silver key too, when you push and twist and press the silver key, you're going back and forth, kind of like it's wiggling. If you go all the way around, you'll notice that these silver keys are going to get into a little battle here. And if you try to force the clarinet together, it will actually bend the silver keys and break them. So we never want to get the silver keys into a battle. We want to push and twist, make sure the silver key is pressed down. And then you have yours all lined up. Keys are in a line, thumb hole, thumb rest are in a line, and this part of your clarinet is ready to go. Then we're going to add the bell. The bell projects the sound. So the bell makes it louder. And we're going to add the bell right on the bottom. If you try to put it on the top, it actually doesn't fit. So there's no way to do it incorrectly. You have to put it on the bottom. We're going to push and twist, same thing. I'm grabbing it down here where there aren't too many keys so that I don't squish the fragile metal on top. I'm just going to push it in. Now that we have this part built, I'm actually going to have you set it down. And we're going to do the other parts separately. Your instrument will probably come together with the mouthpiece and the ligature all together. I actually want you to loosen it, so lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, or you can think about doing these ones down, okay? And we're going to take the ligature off, and I want you to put the mouthpiece together with the barrel. Same thing as the bell. If you do it upside down, it doesn't fit. It's too loose. So you'll know it's right if it's a nice snug fit. Once the mouthpiece is together with the barrel, then we're going to get the reed, and we're going to put the reed on, okay? Now I have a separate video to show you this separately if you just want to look at the reed, because it's a little confusing. But in this part, I'm going to at least do it, and then if you want to look at the reed video separately, you can do that. So I'm going to lick the reed. A wet reed is what makes a sound. So before I put it on the instrument, I get it nice and wet. And then I'm going to match the flat part of the reed. The flat part says Rico on it, or it might have a different brand name. There's also a curvy kind of smooth side. But the flat part with the brand name is going to match the flat part of the clarinet here. So there's a curvy part of the clarinet and a flat part with a hole. And the reed is going to cover the hole. You're going to match the flat to the flat. I'm going to hold that on with my thumb. If you do it correctly, it's pretty even here. If you do it incorrectly, you'll see there's a lot of space kind of between the reed and the clarinet. But you need them to be touching. So we're going to put the reed on that way. Now I'm going to take the ligature and slide it over. Now, a lot of times I see kids do this. It doesn't fit. The only problem is that it's upside down. So one side is bigger than the other. We're just going to flip it over. And for these kinds of reeds, if you have, or these kinds of ligatures, if you have a ligature that looks like mine, the screws go on the same side as the reed. If you have a cloth ligature, usually it actually goes on the other side. So I'll show you that separately in class if you have a different kind of ligature. But if your ligature is metal and looks like mine, screws go on the same side as the reed. And what's really important is that you leave a thin sliver of black at the top here. So I'm going to show you up and close. It's like a thin sliver of black at the top. It's lined up right in the center. Okay. Now, if I do the reed too low, it won't make a sound. So, for example, if it looks like this, that's not going to make a sound. Or if I do the reed too high, so you can see it from behind, right? That's also not going to make a sound. So centering the reed is really important. So again, that's the correct way we do it. Okay. And now that I have this together, in class we're going to work on making just sounds on our mouthpieces. So we'll do some mouthpiece sounds. And then eventually, once we get good at the mouthpiece sounds, we'll be ready to put these two pieces together to build the whole instrument. When I put these two pieces together, I'm going to grab from the barrel. I'm not going to grab from the reed because I don't want to break the reed and I don't want to mess up the alignment. We just got all our reeds settled and we spent some time making it in order, so I don't want to mess that up. So I'm actually going to grab from the barrel and then push it down. Okay? And now we have our clarinet built and ready to go. All right, good luck.